The captain asks how that's going to come in useful aboard the ship. He's asking what kind of work can you do on the ship.
I mean, I can make antivenom if you ever run into any... Most of my abilities would be more useful if you needed someone dead.
He says he does frequently find himself in that situation, as it happens.
I can find a way to work something into their food that no one will even suspect it was you.
Dark.
They'll appear as if they died of natural causes.
Tells you, how about this? I will permit you to row in my gallery until such a time as your specific expertise is required. And on that day, if you impress me, perhaps we can renegotiate your position on this boat. Until then, you shall take no shares of plunder. You shall not be permitted to dine with officers or sleep with them. In fact, you shall not be permitted on the main deck at all. And he turns back at Raazu and says, there are no complaints?
Not as far as that goes, but you are making a very crucial misassumption.
Am I?
That we haven't decided whether or not we wish to join your crew. We came here seeking knowledge.
He lets out a little chuckle and he asks, what choice do you have? It's this or the open sea.
Adrex starts daydreaming about what it's like being a ship's captain.
He tells you that the treasures that you've already given to him in tribute, he supposes he could assess their value as such that he could put the lot of you out to sea in a dinghy with a day's rations, if that's your preference.
Birdie crosses his arms and looks at Red, like with a look, like
you are in no position to give anybody looks, mister.
No, I'm not giving him that look. I'm like giving him a look like, did we kill these guys?
The captain turns to Windy next and asks, well, he says, first of all, that to his great disappointment, he has very little use for a blind crewman. So your skills need to be exceptional. He asks what you can do.
Adrex lets out a little chuckle.
Hey, Adrex, throw me one of those, what is it, a potato? Maybe some of those sausages, and that's Thieves' Cant to Birdie. Like, well, why exactly do you... What do I want to say here? We might.
Okay. Birdie nods back. And
Birdie, what's your passive insight?
Passive insight
Mm-hmm.
is 13.
13. You and Red are exchanging a few words here and there in Thieves' Cant, and you can see the captain glancing between the two of you, and you can tell he understands the cant.
Yeah, not the best. Not the best there.
So, Windy, what expertise do you bring to the crew? How can you make yourself useful to the captain?
I can make healing potions such that they can bring someone back from the brink of death.
He asks why that would be necessary with such an able surgeon, and he gestures over to Adrex.
And I'll, like, look over to the side of the ship. He's like, and say, this seems like a dangerous ship. Someone might get a splinter and need it taken care of quickly. Adrex is good for if you need someone to get well over a certain period of time. I can bring them back quickly.
Adrex has literally brought people back from the brink of death immediately on numerous occasions over this campaign.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'm not telling this pirate fucking the truth.
Tells you that Sweetie Bird is under the impression that you consider yourself a chef.
Apprentice chef.
Perhaps you could distinguish yourself in my kitchen.
So, Wendy will nod if that's what you'd like.
And he turns to Birdie and says, and that frees up the current apprentice to swab decks with you. And he clasps his hands together and says, excellent, then it's all decided.
I look really good in a captain's hat. Just saying.
Raazu takes a deep breath.
Captain Adrex.
So what happens to the? Did we all get accepted, or did he?
He drags out a large... Actually, no, he doesn't. He's not going to do it here. He'll tell you after breakfast is done. It's all been cleared away. He'll have the ship's ledger brought in, and your name's added to it. As officers, the 4 of you will take 2 shares of all plunder. And that you'll be expected to serve courageously and obediently aboard the vessel. To keep all of the laws and regulations of the deceit. And there's a long list of provisions and things.
Raazu's knee is bouncing when he says serve obediently.
Like, is there a term of service? Is it forever?
Wendy looks at literally every member of her party and then goes, sure, this sounds like a great idea.
So, to answer Birdie's question, you serve at the captain's pleasure for as long as you're aboard the vessel, but once you're not, you're not. If you choose to leave, you can do so at any time. There's just nowhere for you to go at the moment. If they pull up to port and you decide that's it, then you will take your share of plunder and part ways amicably as friends. Or you can leave the ship after battle as one of the honored dead.
Wow.
You're
We have
neither
no
servants
intention of
nor
dying.
slaves. You're
So-
crew.
No intention of dying.
What is the mission of this ship? You said it was not to get plunder.
He said there's much plunder to be had, but what they seek is magical knowledge. Knowledge of the runes that you all bear.
Oh,
And at this, he unclasps the buckle on one of his dark gloves and draws it off his hand. And he splays out his left hand on the table. And upon it, you see another rune.
like
And I'm going to pull it up here as soon as I know which one it is.
Birdie claps his hands. I have so many questions right now.
Oh, it's because I didn't make this rune. I made like 30 goddamn runes for this adventure, and I didn't make the most important one. Is anybody doing anything to upset the dinner while I stall and make this rune?
Like, Birdie stands up on the chair and he just starts rattling like questions. Like, can I see the like a list of all the runes everybody has?
You cannot. No. You'll be able to converse with the crewmen, and they'll decide for themselves whether or not they want to share that information with you.
What about the runes that are not on crewmen?
And he says, surely you know that that's where the magic comes from these runes that you bear on your flesh.
And Birdie laughs at him. Okay, if you say so. And he sits back down.
Wendy moves her chair over and starts eating Red's dinner. Moving her head close enough so that if Red wants to whisper something, he can.
Oh, it just looks like you're trying to feed him like a baby bird.
No, I'm feeding myself.
That's cold, man. Alright, I'm
That's
gonna upload
alright.
this real quick.
Adrex is feeding Red.
Yeah.
Basketball style. Like,
Birdie just looks at the captain with sadness in his eyes.
Are you sad because you have to swab decks?
No, I'm sad because he doesn't know what he's doing.
All right. Do I have a tablet? Oh no, I gotta load up another tablet. How terrible.
Can we bully Ned Noakes?
Probably not. He doesn't seem able to be bullied type.
Yeah, but if we're of a higher rank, yeah. I mean, if I'm medical crew.
So the way the rank goes, captain is at the top. Below him are the quartermaster, Noakes, and the bosun, who's the Dragonborn you were told of that you haven't met yet. You're told that the lovely Calcine is the ship's navigator, and though she does not hold technical rank as high as the quartermaster or the bosun, you would still do best to not cross her.
She is the captain's woman.
This is the mark on the palm of his hand.
That's got 6 spokes to it. Holy shit. He's gotten something potent then.
Got those good magics.
Yeah. Like Raazu looks over, like she didn't say anything, but she looks over at Birdie when he reveals that rune.
Birdie, by the way, did you screenshot the last one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's
I
in
assumed
the
you did, but
it's in the party chat.
It's in party chat.
And this is the one on the captain's hand. He says that he has learned the various runes of his officers as they've come to trust each other, but that he doesn't use this knowledge forcefully. He's not going to come out and force any of you to reveal this information. In due time, when you come to feel more at home on board the Deceit, you will come to him with this information as you feel it can benefit him. He tells you not to pay too much attention to Rhodos and his wearying inquiries. Feel free to shut him down as often as you like. And then he gives you all your stations. Red, you're going to be in the rowing gallery.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to call it like a probationary period. Birdie, your job is going to be swabbing the deck. You're going to be up there with other kobolds and goblins and whatnot, scrubbing things down. Wendy, you're to report to the kitchen as Sweetie Bird's apprentice. Adrex, you're to report to the surgery. And
Which is where?
Raazu,
Hmm.
the captain, as the dinner's cleared away and he's given all of these other orders, he comes back to you and says, I have on very good authority from Rhodos himself that goblinoids cannot bear these magical marks.
Then Rhodos is misinformed. Because I'm living proof that otherwise.
And that's very good news for us indeed. Because I have mind to send you down to work with Ned Noakes. Keep this crew in line.
Raazu bristles a little bit at that, but doesn't speak out of turn.
Is there anything else you guys want to discuss with the captain or Calcine at dinner?
Birdie asks him, like, so who's in charge
Of the
of
boat?
researching the runes and stuff?
Primarily Rhodos. Rhodos handles
Oh.
most of these tasks.
No, seriously, who's in charge of it?
And he laughs and he tells you, whatever you think you know of these magics, whatever you have witnessed, I assure you, Rhodos's stores of knowledge outweigh yours.
Raazu taps her mark on her hand again and says, I wouldn't be so quick to accept all of his research and judgments as completely factual, of course.
He didn't want to take my blood.
And the captain looks taken aback and says, "Why, I never. I will see immediately that you are marched directly to Rhodos' quarters, and he is forced to take as much of your blood as you like."
Excellent. Adrex looks very pleased with himself.
And the wine decanter now is mostly empty, and he takes it very quickly and fills everybody's glasses and slams it down and says, "Would you like to fill it now? I'll take it to him myself. You can use my knife," and he hands you his silverware off the table.
Raazu may or may not have been a little sauced when she started shit talking the Yak Man.
And after the food is cleared away, and he has you all make your marks on the page, Red, you have to do this while manacled, so your signature looks mangled and misshapen.
I don't know about that. Let me make a dexterity check.
But yeah, make a sleight of hand check. Let's see how well you do.
20?
That's all right.
Yeah.
It only looks as mangled and misshapen as you want it to look. Then
That's actually the DC to get out of manacles. So
He takes the manacles off and signs his name.
I will give you two. I will burn 2 of my own blips for Red to do it that way.
Yeah, no, if it's 20,
Seriously.
I'll just slip my arm out, sign it, slip my arm back in.
I will dock my blips for that.
I mean, he
Red,
rolled
you're
a
slipping
20.
your hand out the manacles and signing the ledger, and then slipping back in.
Yep.
And Calcine kind of claps her hands together, laughing, and the captain looks very pleased. But he pulls up his finger and says, "You do well not to let Ned Noakes see that."
Ned Noakes is such an asshole.
Adrex, no, don't tip your hand too much, Adrex.
He says when the sun rises, you all will be considered part of the crew. And language like that would be inappropriate. Your personal feelings of Ned Noakes being what they are, should you allow it to come to disturb your service as his crewman, there are penalties. Up to and including a splash, and then a long, dark think.
Birdie whispers to Adrex, he means throw you in the water.
Thank you, Birdie.
Birdie pats him on the back of the thigh and says, "You're welcome."
And then he tells Windy.
Yep.
He says, "And don't believe for a moment that your wings will save you. Should you cross the rules of this vessel, he's a little sloshed too, apparently. Should you cross the rules of this vessel, we have ways of sinking you as well."
All right.
Then he raises a toast to his 5 new crewmen.
Adrex is going to enjoy being captain of this vessel.
Red, you were put in the care of one of the bugbears named Gwoo.
Okay.
Gwoo's job, or rather your job, is to be Gwoo's shadow. To do whatever work needs done below decks, to row. Basically, you're not supposed to leave his sight at any time.
Okay.
Is anybody else doing anything tonight?
Where are we sleeping?
Birdie, you are sleeping in the crew's quarters here. Windy. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong document. No wonder I can't see what I'm trying to see. Adrex.
Hmm.
The surgeon's quarters is here. You have the top bunk. Windy, you are in here. That is the officer's quarters where C sleeps at nights. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's not where you go. Yeah, it is. C and
So
Sweetie Bird are both in here, so you're in there as well.
So do you hot rack with the other Aarakocra?
Raazu,
Oh.
you're in W with Ned Noakes. And Red, you're also going to be in the crew quarters here.
Yep.
Rick, we're gonna take a long rest.
Yes, you can take the benefits of a long rest.
Could you give me that tablet? Because I'd like to try a new spell.
The tablet?
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna do.
There you go.
Oh, Nodal's been drawing them and then uploading them. That's cool. Okay.
What spell are you trying to make?
Shield.
Shields. Okay, give me a second here. You've already made your roll on this, so you just need to draw the...
No, I haven't made my roll.
Okay. Go ahead and make that roll.
Nope.
Okay, bear with me as I draw out shields here, so I can see if you've got the rune correct.
I mean, you could do that on the table so we can see too.
You-
Share with the rest of the class.
Do have the rune correct, so all you need to do now is make the roll.
Bitchin'.
Are you gonna come join my class?
Windy.
Yeah?
As far as Sweetie Bird is concerned, your job is to be quiet and stay out of her way while she works for magic.
That's fair. Just ask me what to hand you and I'll do it.
So since I obviously can't forge for poisons, do I have enough freedom to try a rune?
If you want, Gwu probably won't know what you're doing anyway.
Okay.
By the way, Sweetie Bird, that food was amazing.
She says she knows.
And
It's like, bitch, help, I know that.
what's the limit on the number of spells you can have?
It is...
Meanwhile, Wendy's thinking, if that idiot thinks the cook isn't going to be eating food as good as his every day, he's got another thing coming.
Your maximum spells is half your character level plus your intelligence modifier. And that counts
Also, I do
for
have
your
another slot.
starting cantrip.
Hold
Raazu.
off a minute, I have to figure something out.
Three.
What I was thinking of is a level too high.
Okay.
Let me look at this for a second.
Raazu.
Hey,
Noakes doesn't like this arrangement any more than you do.
don't worry. The feeling is very much mutual.
But as long as it's the captain's will, he tells
I'll
you
abide.
that it is of paramount importance to display strength when dealing with these crewmen. He reminds you that these are not your slaves and they are not your servants. These are able crewmen aboard the Deceit. These are the captain's men.
And then you tell him that you've been dealing with Birdie.
Yeah.
I got
Right.
Birdie to do what I said 40% of the time.
if I can deal with Birdie with only having to resort to the whip twice, and as long as I've known him, I think I can handle this.
Adrex,
Yeah.
you meet the ship's surgeon. And do you need this tablet anymore, Nodal?
Nope, I'm good.
You're good.
Hey, Nodal, can you paste that in the...
Yeah, dog, I got you.
The ship's surgeon is an orc, and he has a very prominent tattoo on the back of his green head. And I will pull this up for you.
It works, man.
It looks like this.
Okay.
And you're introduced to him. His name is Yashnars.
Yashnars. That name sounds very familiar.
Sounds incredibly familiar.
It almost sounds like there's one member of the previous campaign who would be appearing in this game.
Yashnars doesn't look impressed with you at all. He looks at you up and down. He looks like a very green orc, and I mean that both in the sense that he's literally actually green, but also very, very young. And he doesn't sport any of the battle scars that you associate with hardened orcs.
Oh shit!
He tells you that you don't look much like a surgeon to him. He asks if you're skilled in the ways of like field dressings and whatnot.
It's really complicated, but I can handle that stuff.
He tells you that he'll take all the help he can get, as long as you don't overtly screw up anything major. That the two of you should get on fine together. And this tattoo takes up the bulk of the half of his head behind his ear.
Okay. Yeah, we
So
should
we
be
know-
fine.
I know who has plot armor.
Oh, this is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, that's like a 10th level spell.
Plot armor. Speaking of spells,
We could kill every single person on this plane, and they could still be back for the next adventure.
This. Sorry, you said plane, and for some reason my mind went to airplane. I'm like, no, we're on a boat. What are you
And
talking
you're
about?
like, vroom.
Okay. I want to try a spell as well.
Okay. Are you going to draw it out like a schnook on the table, or use the tablet like a cool boy?
Unfortunately, I don't have the a place to upload things, so I'm gonna have to draw it out like a schnook.
You're not as cool as Nodal. We got it. Wait,
I
how do you
am
not have a
not-
place to upload things? Imgur is literally free.
I mean, he doesn't have an account.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't have an account. That's
Is anybody else doing anything over the long rest as far as downtime actions go? I know Red was...
No, I have to draw my rune, but it's gonna take me a minute of looking through these notes.
Okay.
oh god. Oh, this is atrocious.
So are there any shenanigans aboard the vessel? Does anybody go out of their way to make trouble? Over the course of the next few days, at least.
I mean, I'm gonna talk to all the kobolds and goblins and find out where they came from.
Okay.
No, except for let me know every night so that I can roll my 2 die.
We'll just do the one for now.
Oh, let me.
Aboard the vessel, there are... You specifically want to know the kobolds and goblins?
Yeah,
How does Birdie feel about rat folk? Are they lumped
Doesn't
into
mind.
this category?
he just considers them uglier goblins
Okay. So there
or
are
more attractive goblins, depending on your kink.
4 kobolds aboard the vessel. One is an officer. He's the night lookout. The crew calls him Scampers. There was a
What is he
female
called?
goblin who is very upset because her job in the kitchen was just given to Wendy. Her name is Sokka. And there's 2 male... I'm sorry, not a goblin, a kobold. And there are 2 other just male kobold crews named Nem and Hevlu.
I'm just trying to figure out where they all came from.
And they all have different stories. They all came from different parts of the world, came to the crew in at different times. They all have great reverence for Captain Eyes. There's a goblin named Quasginkle who's dim-witted and has difficulty even saying his own name.
I think everybody has difficulty saying his name.
There are 2 ratfolk sisters aboard that you've seen working, but they only speak their own language. That sounds it's very exotic to your ears. Nobody else aboard speaks it. You're told that there is a 3rd ratfolk, but none of the crew have actually seen him. He's just kind of a ship's legend. He serves as the captain's shadow and dagger. But you get the sense that he's not actually real. This is just something the crew, like a story that they've come up with. By the name of Flumph Smee. Alright, so what am I looking at here?
That's charm person. I rolled a 4 for my spellcraft check.
Okay. Well, 4 is not going to pass.
No, it's not. But is the room correct?
Let's find out.
I mean,
I've always thought that Raazu would need a spell to charm person.
She just recognizes her failings.
She's trying to shore up her weaknesses. It's very respectable.
I guess my weaknesses are just I need to destroy as many things in as big as radius as possible. I don't know.
but only about half as much of a radius as you think you should.
But what that means is I only need half the radius, but I get twice the radius for the same cost.
That is the correct rune for Charm Person.
Okay.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. I just have to. I don't know how to put that on the thing, but
On the thing?
on the spreadsheet we've got there. So that means that I can continue to make checks to try and pass it
At advantage.
at advantage. Right. Okay.
I'll have Adrex roll for elemental weapon.
Okay.
I believe in you, Adrex.
Everyone believes in you, Adrex.
Bye, die. Aw.
Pair fives.
That's not going to do it.
Well, they
Meanwhile,
both,
the Yakman is just following around after us as we leave like spell droppings everywhere.
Spell droppings.
So we're just waiting on Red to drop a rune? If nobody's
Working
getting up
on
at
it.
any other shenanigans, then that's going to end the session there. We will continue our pirate adventures next week.
So does Sweetie Bird keep all of her like flowers and powders and stuff with a lid on them?
She actually keeps very little inside the actual galley because it's such a cramped space. Most of her provisions are below decks in room X and Y. So a lot of your job is running down and grabbing stuff. And
All right, fantastic.
as good as you are at billowing your cape, you can't read labels.
No, but I can billow my cape in the kitchens and memorize where everything is.
So you are not a very good assistant at first.
Give me 7 more days.
Give me 1 second. I think I need one more line on this.
Okay.
Cooking is an art, so I can use my wisdom, right? Baking would require intelligence.
Baking requires dexterity.
I'd be good at that too.
Baking requires dexterity.
Adrex, Windy, and Raazu. Roll insight checks, please.
Off the table. Woo! There's the damn 20. God! Ah!
Poor Adrex.
How'd Windy do on that roll?
That's a 22.
22. Working with Sweetie Belle and seeing some of these crew and how they've acted over the course of your 2 days on the ship so far, having met Ned Noakes and seeing the gathering on the deck when it looked like Red was gonna go overboard, you're not sure Sweetie Bird belongs being a pirate.
Uh-huh.
She's really good at her job, but you can tell that she's never been in a fight.
Yeah.
Adrex, you literally rolled a 20?
Yeah, not 20.
Okay.
If she gives me cooking tips, I'll teach her how to throw a punch.
Yashnars makes a lot of inquiries as to the nature of your rune. Yours is on your hand, right?
Yeah.
He makes a lot of inquiries as to the nature of your rune. What do you share with him?
Well, at first, Adrex just describes it as something the captain does not want to see. But if he's being really persistent about it, Adrex would show him that it's actually dancing lights, whatever it is.
Yashnars also asks you a lot of questions about your god. He's very curious about your religious beliefs.
Really? He's kind of a drag. I don't really like him.
drag on.
He's evil.
And he inquires as to whether or not you follow one of these false gods. One of these... Which he includes the living gods that most of the people you know worship. These dragons, the Wind Dukes, the Lord of Blades, etc.
No, it's not really my thing. I mean, and Adrex will say that he left his clan, and because he didn't like the worship of his god and how it worked and how he was treating people, and before he realizes that he's divulged too much information.
And when he hears that you're not happy with your living gods, Yashnars tells you that there are real gods, real powers. And he begins proselytizing to you of his goddess Osprem, who has saved his life, saved him from a shipwreck in the ocean when all of the rest of his tribe was destroyed, and then gave him the power to heal as he touches the tattoo on his head.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Raazu, how'd you roll on that insight?
I rolled a 7.
A 7. Noakes doesn't like you at all.
No, I don't like him either. That's fine.
All right.
All right, and I've got my rune.
Oh, okay.
That I believe should be invisibility.
That's what this campaign needs. Another worshiper of Osprem. Me twice, specifically.
It's the glue that holds the whole world together.
That would be a Arcana.
Osprem's a
16.
BS god. This guy doesn't know shit.
Remember, you guys could lower the difficulty on
17.
these checks by spending gold.
No, this is way more fun.
Okay.
What if
This
we
is
need
a-
that gold? What if we need to give it to some pirates?
Exactly. They didn't take our gold from us, so we technically still have it.
Okay.
Yep.
Let me draw up invisibility here.
Just walk into the treasury and cast, like, my thing. Yeah, I'll use all this pirate's gold. It just all disappears.
And what was your Arcana check?
17.
17? Okay, so you failed the check, and this is not the rune for invisibility.
Oh, sorry.
I wonder.
All right.
Live and learn.
It happens. I'm going to go ahead and... Well, I guess there's not much experience to tally up, but I'm going to go dark and tally up some blips and stuff and make a straw poll. That Catoblepus encounter was intended for the Underdark, but at the time I was like, I don't feel like throwing a Catoblepus at them. I want to get them out of the Underdark. I'm tired of that place. But it's also
Who
such a
isn't?
fun encounter. I'm like, I have to death gaze somebody.
And you did.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Totally have to.
All right, so I'm going to go dark
So
so you
there's
guys
no, like,
figure out where you want your
hurt
blips to
gaze?
go.
Pain gaze.
Ouchie gaze.
Ouchie gaze. So who's the most creative today? Who was creative?
I mean, I came up with the idea of trapping the bag of spice.
That was pretty
That was
creative,
pretty
yeah.
good, yeah.
Like
I'm
we also, Wendy had the idea to trap the Catoblepus with a net that we still have, probably.
Yeah, but I like the spiked.
Yeah. No, I like.
the spiked spice.
Yeah.
Just imagining drunk Red. I spiked the punch. And then someone falls unconscious next to the punch bowl.
I mean, I'm technically immune to poison, so
Alright, so who was that for creative?
Destil.
Destil, okay. Who furthered the party's goals today?
I didn't set fire to the ship yet.
I want to put my name forward for taking that 2 weeks out to go and talk to
I think you
Griagro
should-
for that.
I think you should get it for getting in between what's his name and Red on the plank.
Yeah, for not letting
yeah, that's good.
Red getting pushed off into the
Mhm.
drain deep.
Because I feel like we don't really have goals right now, which might be a problem.
So stay alive is kind of our goal now, so yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Like, as soon as I get a chance to talk to someone, which might be never, because when you guys come below decks, like, what the hell are we even doing here?
We came here for information. That's what happened. So who's a badass today?
I want to give that one to Red for spectacularly failing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I am totally down for Red.
Actually, no. I want to give it to him for signing the way he signed the ledger.
I was gonna give that for intangibles.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with giving
I
both
was-
of those to Red. I'm okay with giving both of those to Red, honestly.
I am
Because
a little
those-
behind, and I'm not going to be here next week. So.
Yeah, you are
not
super
gonna be upset
behind.
about it.
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
those
it's-
both for.
Yeah.
All right, then. All right.
Like, I'm
personal
not
book.
fishing for
It
you,
helps
but
that they're a reasonably good reason.
yeah. What are the one we're on now?
That was all.
Okay.
We're done.
It seems like every session I'm gone, you guys kill like a million things. Is what happens.
So
Like, I
We're
bet
just
next
very
session,
murderous when you're not here.
next session you're gonna kill like 3 dragon turtles.
to be fair, like we end up missing a lot of combat because you talk the other side out of wanting to kill us. And when you're not here, we have to murder more things.
Sure, just blame the victim.
I mean, also to be fair, I'm pretty good at just nonchalantly murdering things. So
Are you level? You're how far into level 7 are you?
not super far. I think halfway. Last I looked.
You and I are about the same
Okay.
because I've got 28 something.
Should you be rolling another die? Did you roll 4d6 on a sneak attack? Shouldn't you have another die? Don't you have 4d6 just from your 7th level rogue and another one for the bow?
Yes, I do. But
So you
like,
should be rolling.
yeah, I should be rolling 5d6. Oh well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should have been rolling like 10d6 for that crit that you rolled earlier today.
Oh well. It died either way.
Yeah, no, it's fine, but just in the future, be sure to sneak
It
attack.
hurts
things.
Destil when you don't roll all the dice.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do experience first, because that's going to be super easy, because you only killed one thing.
I mean, I wanted to, but they wouldn't let me.
360 experience for the Catablibus. And who wants to make a case for their blips this week?
Adrex will start.
Okay.
I'm going to start with alignment belief. Everybody tries to be good. People who aren't are dumb.
Okay.
Everything about being on this ship is counter to what Adrex believes. I think that's obvious at this point. He had very much had an issue with Ned Noakes trying to push Red overboard. And he had an issue with the captain when he's like, oh, we have to follow these rules because that's why they're... It's like, no! That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So you don't believe that anybody on this ship is trying to be good?
Yeah.
They're pirates.
Aw, what about the cook?
It's not that everybody on the ship isn't trying to be good. It's that these really dumb rules stifle people from being good.
What dumb rules?
The rules where they argued, where
Not you, Adrex. What dumb rules? What rules are dumb?
I mean,
Like, do you
Red
think
didn't-
people should be
Red
allowed to
didn't-
steal from the captain?
but no one stole from the captain. There was only the implication of...
Isn't that a little disingenuous, though? If you're opening
No.
a locked door to a treasury and get caught doing it,
There's still no crime.
that strikes me as very disingenuous.
It's
I
not
feel like
disingenuous.
I feel like if you
It
were
might be-
if you were a lawyer arguing about like a burglar breaking into your house and getting caught before he actually went and stealing something, you wouldn't argue to let that person free. He's
No,
still done something
on-
very wrong.
On the contrary, as a lawyer, that's exactly the thing that you argue.
Okay.
Like, just because he was breaking the lock doesn't mean he was going in and actually stealing anything. There's no evidence and no action that actually.
Also, that would be attempted burglary.
I don't know. I think I'm unconvinced that you're not allowed to break locks is a bad rule. Why is Adrex opposed to this rule?
He's not opposed to the rule. He is just opposed to the idea that there was malicious intent to it.
But again, I think if you came home and you saw somebody attempting to break the lock on your front door, I think you would read malicious intent. I know I would. I don't think somebody's gonna break into my house doing a good thing. I would call the police immediately.
This is Adrex we're talking about, though.
I don't know. I think I'm unconvinced. I think
All right,
everyone
fine.
tries to be good. I think you can't try to be good while breaking a lock. That, to me, is a very clearly not good act.
But it's a pirate's lock.
Anything else?
Flaws, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, this very poisonous spice is going to be sprinkled onto our food, and it can probably be really bad.
Oh,
But
don't
yeah,
worry.
no, we should.
She's not going to waste that on you guys.
No, that happened.
Oh, okay.
That happened
Oh, that's
earlier.
right,
Remember?
that's right.
We
Wendy
gave
cooked
it
it.
to the. Yeah,
Yeah.
It didn't actually poison Adrex, though.
it didn't,
It's true,
but
but
it's still really risky. I didn't really even do anything in combat. Yelled at Ned Noakes a lot, but I don't think he didn't do that in an energetic way. He just did that in a very mad way. Well, it is my responsibility to bring out the good in people. He did stand up to Ned Noakes, even though that was a very futile effort.
You
Attempting to
energetically.
bring out the good in Red?
In Ned,
Do you think there is any good in Ned?
Adrex doesn't know that. He thinks there's good in everybody. Everybody tries to be good.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Who's next?
I'll go.
Raazu.
Her aspect, when my anger is roused, I have trouble thinking straight, and I fear I might do something I will regret. And the whole exchange with, oh, guess what? You're going to be assigned to this guy who you absolutely despise, and Raazu taking that with as much dignity as she could muster, which wasn't very much. Like she made it very clear that she did not like that situation, and so maybe the captain was doing this just to maybe push her over the edge a little bit.
You think the captain's that kind of guy?
Maybe.
Maybe
We'll
he
see.
just thinks that's the best job you're suited to aboard this ship.
Yeah, well, anyway.
Anything else?
Alignment, good and evil are subjective distinctions with matters keeping to your own ethics, and Raazu did volunteer to whip Red for the presumed crime, as it were.
Mm-hmm. Does she still want to do that, by the way?
Kind of seems moot at this point because he's been, he's scrubbing walls now, basically.
You could just do it for fun, though. I mean, it's literally your job on the ship, is to keep him in line.
Yeah. Well, if he puts another toe out of line, then sure, why not?
Right, I would look out if I were you. Anything else?
That's all I got.
Who's next?
I'll go.
Red.
So I'm going to go with flaw. It's often best to just do what needs to be done. Explaining it to the others would be a waste of time for sneaking into the lowest deck by himself and then trying to break into the treasury without even mentioning to his group that he was going to do this.
I think he also was... Oh, wait, no, never mind. Go ahead.
Causing them no amount of trouble in the process.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else?
And I'll also throw on ideal. Cold hard logic will not suffer to augur those who are motivated by something as fleeting as for trying to get the message across to Birdie, which didn't work. That you should just have Raazu whip me for this, as opposed to get thrown off the side of the ship.
A purely logical decision.
Yep.
Okay, was that it?
Yeah.
Windy.
Yeah.
You tried to get in there twice, but you were second to the buzzer both times.
I was going to wait for the next person to do it, just like keep the joke up.
So what do you got for me?
I got learning new things is never wasted.
What did you learn?
For at the very beginning of the camp, at the very beginning of the session, wanting to set up a meeting with the pirates to learn what they're about, because we don't have any real proof that these guys are going around raiding ships.
You have a lot of rumors and hearsay.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Monastic tradition redirection. For Red and Raazu was arguing that she should be in charge of the law of getting rid of. Oh no, sorry, that's my argument for the other one. My argument for monastic redirection is they were having this big argument on the ship. Wendy went back, got the guy who had the authority to get Red off the plank. Then, as soon as he left, grabbed all of his valuable stuff. And I'm pretty sure 95% of this ship doesn't know that it was Wendy that got Red off the plank, which is exactly how she likes it.
Okay.
And finally, law and chaos are misunderstandings of the world's nature. So that's where I was going to go into that argument, which is Raazu was trying to argue the law of it. Like, hey, I'm in charge of Red, therefore I should be getting, like, the one who metes out his punishment. Meanwhile, Wendy, knowing that the laws are just bullshit, like, everyone on here who says that they're in laws just because they had the most power went and got someone with more power, and then went and got power over him.
So you think that the captain and his officers being the law on this ship is a misunderstanding of the world's nature? Like, that's not really how the world works. That's just them.
The laws only exist because the captain wants them to, and they're convenient for him. So he was like, "Oh yeah, we wouldn't want a mutiny. That's terrible." And Wendy responded, "Yeah, I can see why you wouldn't want a mutiny."
Birdie, what do you have? He has nothing. He's gone. He ran off.
Just like Birdie.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that should get him a blip.
Right. He's off digging a hole somewhere.
Oh, he might be
Might have
muted,
connection
maybe?
issues. Did you just drop and re-up?
Sounded like
Can
it.
you hear me? Okay.
Yeah,
There you
now.
are.
Oh, okay. So I have the accumulation of magical knowledge is something that I asked everybody to show me their threatened to undress a cat person to look at hers, and was incredibly disappointed with Yak Man
You were disappointed with Yak Man. Why?
because he doesn't seem to know really what he's doing.
Does Birdie know what he's doing?
Birdie will say yes.
What would you say?
Yes.
Oh, so you think Birdie's got it all figured out? He's an expert at magic now.
No, I don't. I just I said that with a question mark.
I feel like there's a lot of fun things I could get into with that. Birdie thinking he knows more than he actually does.
Yeah, probably.
What else you got?
I got think setting traps are a great idea. I was super on board with trapping the spices and incredibly disappointed when it didn't happen. And I also instead of like doing the thing that would probably have been more helpful, which was keep watch, I decided to go off in the woods and dig holes.
You did dig a lot of holes. Anything else?
No.
We give one blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session.
Creative was...
I'll tell you, it was Destil. And it was for putting a needle in the back.
What?
That's right.
So, what problem was that meant to solve?
Our cat problem?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Even though she's now your favorite NPC aboard this boat.
You knew she was going to be Wendy's favorite NPC aboard this boat when you invented her.
Listen.
You knew what you were doing.
That was that, and this is this.
Who furthered the
At the
party's
time,
goals
she
the
was a
most?
problem.
Who furthered the party's goals the most this session?
We voted on Raazu for... I initially suggested getting more information from Griagro, and then everybody else vetoed at me for stepping in between Ned Noakes and Red while Red was on the plank.
Okay.
Goal right now is survival because we don't really have anything we're actively doing.
Yep.
Yeah, we have kind of a gold problem right now, actually.
We have a gold deficit.
Yeah.
So what happens when you solve all your problems? You guys said you wanted some exciting new problems. I'm here. I'm happy to oblige. Who is the
No,
biggest
Red's
badass?
happy to oblige.
Listen, I'm upset that you're taking my position in the party here.
Who is
As the official
badass this
problem
week?
maker. That was.
We gave that to
That's-
Destil.
We
For
actually had a. What was it?
We had a really good pile of reasons to give Destil blips today.
it was we gave it to Destil for the way he signed the ledger.
Oh no, that was intangibles. I thought.
No, the intangibles was something else.
Okay.
But yeah,
The intangibles was the hilariously botched attempt to get in that door.
yeah.
The one time he actually says, "Yeah, that's a spell." The one
Yeah,
time.
I roll a 10 and an 8.
So yeah, but no, but slipping out of the manacles and signing his name on that ledger was really good.
And Adrex has our straw poll for this week.
What? What? How did that happen?
I don't know. You were the favorite this week. You did
Right.
something good.
You're my favorite.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so I have Raazu with 3 blips.
Blips are worth what?
EXP.
Yeah, I mean, for how much?
More than one.
466. Windy. I have 3 for Windy. I have 3 for Adrex. 2 for Birdie. And 5 for Red.
What's our murder EXP this week?
360.
Blips were 366.
466.
466.
So wait,
Whoa.
I missed that when you said that.
What's the
What
question?
was the EXP that's not blip EXP?
For the Catoblepas, 360.
Thank you.
Good news, everyone. If I need to sink the ship, I can cast 2 Hunger of Hadars on the bottom of it.
You realize that if you sink the ship, the chance of anybody actually surviving is very low.
Yeah, we're on the
Okay,
ship.
real quick.
Like,
The chance of anyone surviving but Windy.
Where are you going to fly to?
The land?
Where? You're too far away. You
Oh,
can't.
I think Windy can make it. Windy's a monk.
Good news, I barely crested level 8.
Alright, so what cool stuff do you get at level 8?
Let me manage my levels and I will tell you.
Windy's a mobility feat away from outracing a dragon.
Raazu gets an ability score improvement or a feat. Level 8.
Feats go in your socks.
I do. I'm still kind of waffling back and forth of whether or not I want to take like a polearm master feat or if I want to just go with ability score improvements. I think I really should go with ability score improvements because I need to increase my saves.
Any event, we'll do
Well,
more pirate adventures next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Charisma and intelligence are going up.
Wouldn't resilient in one of those be better, or are they both even?
Resilient.
Is that the name of the feat? I think it is.
yeah, it is.
Oh well.
We'll solve McDohl's crisis of indecisiveness before the next session for sure.
oh,
No, I get-
is it too late to bring up that I uploaded a video?
No, it's not too late.
Yeah, it's gonna have a blip for
Oh.
that.
You can.
There's
Yeah.
another blip.
I have an Adrex entry.
Okay, you can have a blip for that too.
I gotta keep remembering to say that.
Yeah, I'm going with
That's it.
charisma intelligence for my improvement.
Thanks for playing, guys. See you guys next week.
Cheers.
Peace out.
Later.
Goodbye.